detective. Thrill me.
Thanks for joining us again, and it's the full crew. Gibbo, good to have you back on deck, mate.
Good to be back.
Been a while. You'll have a fair list, I'm sure, that we can partake in.
Yeah.
Tonight's episode is 1997's Face Off, but let's jump quickly into what we've been watching. I'm going to go first. Mine was super short. I bought Halloween, the 2018 version, on DVD, watched it, loved it. Still don't understand why they decided to have that fucking doctor in there. I'm still baffled by that. It's the only really bad bit in the movie. But enjoyed it. And the only other thing I saw was there was a documentary about Chris Farley. It's called I Am Chris Farley. It was actually really interesting. Look, I was never a fan of his type of comedy. And every time they kept showing things of him and they're saying, "Guy's a genius," and I'm just like, where's the genius?
You weren't a fan of the Chippendale sketch with Patrick
That was
Swayze?
piss funny. That was hilarious, though, the Chippendale sketch. But he seemed like a good guy. He just couldn't get past the drugs and the alcohol and all that. But it was an interesting watch. But
Where was that?
Sorry?
Where was it?
It was on Channel 7. It's just on their catch-up.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
So it's pretty interesting because they've got Sandler, they've got Mike Myers and that all talking about him. And all of them thought he was a genius and a really nice guy, but obviously the drugs and the piss were too much for him. But that's it for me. Jared, I believe you got a short list too.
Well, I started the week spending most of my time watching the R. Kelly doco and the Michael Jackson doco.
George Pell is next.
I spent the next 3 or 4 days washing myself and...
The 6-part Pell documentary's coming out.
That's a dark tunnel to go down there.
God.
Absolutely shocking. I haven't finished R. Kelly yet because it's been broken on Australian TV. It's been broken into 8 episodes.
Can I ask this question? Did anyone see his interview?
A little bit.
Is it just me, or when he fires up, was it like something out of Trapped in the Closet?
I shouldn't laugh at that, but it was.
Yeah.
It was.
Now my TV show.
That wasn't a good start to the week.
No.
Back to the standard fare. I've pretty much finished Titans, which I was watching.
Yeah, how was that?
Episode. Big fan. I really liked it. If DC is going to pump more stuff like that onto their streaming service, very, very happy about it. Other than a couple of absolutely hysterical instances of bad CGI, and there's obviously not a big budget for that sort of stuff, so it only pops up occasionally. But there's one involving a car accident that was, it's supposed to be kind of tragic, and I just burst out laughing. It was so bad.
This is the one on Netflix, though.
Yeah. So it's because DC hasn't released their streaming service in Australia, we're going to get them on Netflix until that happens.
Same as why Stan's getting all the Disney.
Yeah. Wasn't that's a bad deal for them, isn't it? I think they're back on top, and then 2 years Disney will say, "We're coming to Australia," and Stan will go, "Oh shit,
we're actually." Stan's actually not too bad, but as soon as you take away the Disney stuff, they are
Disney and Marvel. They got nothing.
Yeah. So I saw Captain Marvel. Went to the cinemas, saw Captain Marvel. I enjoyed it. It's not upper tier Marvel. It's not upper echelon stuff. Not Black Panther or. For mine, I loved Winter Soldier and things like that. I didn't think it was as good as them, but it's fun. Ben Mendelsohn's great. Couple of very thin characters and really predictable things that went on, which kind of undermined it a little bit, but it was enjoyable enough. So, and that was pretty much me.
Okay, Matty.
All right. I watched. You had self-loathing watching the docos on R. Kelly. I had self-loathing watching the first episode of the second season of Black Lightning.
I think yours is worse. My experience.
How did it go?
It's more of the same, but it's all right. I didn't mind it. Look, it's when they are tapping into the music and the culture and that sort of stuff, it's really good. Where some of the action stuff's actually pretty decent, but just some of the interactions between the characters are forced and dragged out. So it's more of the same.
I've abandoned ship on that one. I can't get it. I'm a completist and I can't do it to myself. It just bugs the shit out of me.
I finished off Dirty John, and then I started listening to the podcast, and it sounds pretty accurate. Like it's pretty spot on by the looks of things. So I'm going to finish off that podcast.
Yeah, the podcast is good.
It's just so sad that this happens to people in real life. I just can't believe
The
it.
bloke's a fucking scumbag. let's not.
That's a nice way to put it.
Well, let's not sugarcoat it. He's a scumbag.
I started watching Afterlife, which is new Ricky Gervais
Oh yeah.
thing on Netflix. Pretty interesting because his wife's died of cancer, and he just does not care about anyone or anything anymore. Says exactly what he wants and thinks, but he's obviously got a heart behind it, but he's just acting like a complete cock in this first episode. So really interesting to see where that one goes. After one of our conversations on one of the previous pods, I went in for a tearjerker. I went and watched Armageddon.
Yeah.
Magic. Absolute magic. Didn't enjoy it as much as you, Blake. But I can see how.
So had you not seen it before?
Never seen it.
Oh my god. What did you do your whole life?
I watched Highlander 20,000 times.
Wow.
Again, it must come on here very soon.
Let's give it a year or two so I can
Absolutely.
clear
Process.
the palate. I watched Sausage Party.
Oh,
And that wasn't very good at all.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like swearing and then drug references. Like it's not.
Then
It wasn't funny.
gang sex scenes, yeah.
It was just things that like those guys would find funny, and they like tried to jam it into a cartoon. It just didn't work. But yeah, I didn't really enjoy that one. But yeah, that's pretty much me. I watched Big Mouth as well.
The My Fairy Valentine?
Yeah.
episode, yeah.
Did you get onto that?
Yeah.
You would have loved it, Jad. There's a Michael Shannon joke. You open the Michael Shannon Valentine's Day
Yeah.
card that says, "I love you with all the veins in my head." And then he goes, "I can still hear it breathing."
I thought you were going to say I opened it up and found a couple of fingers in it.
But that's me.
All right. Gibbo,
Okay.
is this a highlights package or is it just everything?
No, I'll tell you what, I'll read things off and I'll look around the room and see if anyone's interested. I've got quite the list. I haven't been here for a couple of months now.
Okay,
I think.
go.
So, and I think some of these you guys might have mentioned it. I have been listening. I've been trying to be supportive, okay?
You're the one.
The Christmas Chronicles.
The Christmas Chronicles. Kurt Russell.
Mate,
Love it. Yeah, love that.
bad. I went in, I was watching it with the kids and I'm like, oh, this is going to be dog shit. And I started watching, I'm like, this is actually pretty good.
Russell makes for a very credible Santa Claus.
I thought he was going to mail it in, but he really didn't. He was having a crack.
And that fucking beard is real.
Mate, I was impressed.
Legit.
I thought it was going to be rough, and it wasn't. This one, I can't remember what this is.
This is
The
good.
night before?
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
That's the one with Seth Rogen and that. They go out for a massive party
It's
night, get
terrible.
all the drugs and
Yeah,
everything.
it's basically like a poor
Michael
man's...
Shannon's in that, isn't he?
I think he is. He's a drug dealer. And the drug dealer / angel.
Oh.
Anyway, don't watch it. I watched Vikings season 5.
Excellent.
Mission Impossible Fallout. Finally got around to that one. I've been hanging out for that one. Really good. Loved it. Obviously, I'm not breaking any news here. It's a really, really good
How
movie.
good was the blue in the bathroom?
Oh, it's not what I thought it was from the trailer though. Like it looked like they were sort of up against each other. And it was sort of more teamwork thing. That bloke was just throwing everything though.
Yeah.
No, that was really good. Liked it. I don't know why I wrote this in here. Love Actually. I think I must have watched that with Riley again. Last season of Better Call Saul. Punched that out. Real slow burn still. And the Saul character's kind of a bit... now he's... I don't know, he's just boring. But the...
Hermantraut?
Mikey Hermantraut, his story is really cool. Like, even the stuff that he's doing with the Germans and stuff like that is pretty interesting. Watched Aquaman.
Where did you take Aquaman?
I don't know how it made money. Like, the special effects in that are... Oh, they're abhorrent. They're really bad. It's like, oh, this looks like shit. Let's just put more colour in. I was blown away by how bad it was.
So you did not like the film at all, or was it just the effects were bad?
No, I didn't like the film at all.
You hate
Momoa?
Kidman as well, don't you?
I like Momoa. He's fine. The movie's rubbish. And I just couldn't get... Every time there's an undersea scene, I look around and going, is this actually supposed to be passable as a massive budget Hollywood film? And then all I
We
can
have
hear
it
is
made over $1 billion.
it's made so much money.
Yeah,
Everyone's
but you know
like,
what?
it's actually really good. I'm like,
You know what?
it's not.
I was
didn't mind
listening
it.
back to one of our old episodes where we were talking about the Meg. We had that as one of the biggest flops of the year. We were all there going, that way, mate. You said
What, Aquaman?
100 even.
Yeah. What, didn't I say
No, the
400?
Meg. No, the Meg. Yeah,
Oh, the
we
Meg,
said,
yeah.
You said 300, and
I was
mate, the
closest.
fucking thing made 600.
It's still going.
There's idiots everywhere. That's all I'll say. Mate,
Including us. We gave our money towards it.
Aquaman was poor.
Okay.
Well, I'll reiterate that I kind of liked him. I kind of liked that.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah, but you also said it wasn't great.
I said it was as dumb as a box of hammers, but
The plot. Okay, so the guy can swim at super fast, and they're like, you know, we need to get this place a boat. Why? Why do they need a boat? He can swim 20 times faster than that boat with no effort whatsoever.
Yeah, but sometimes he just wants to put his feet up.
That's it. I went and watched it with my wife, and she turned and looked at me, and she just went, "I'm fucking leaving." That's what she said. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm with her. This is rubbish."
Yeah, but you're
She didn't leave, but she was about to.
But your missus also posted the trailer for Dark Phoenix on Facebook with a big yes.
Oh,
So
she's
got some things to
I'm not
answer.
saying she's on point, mate. I'm just saying she was very upset with this as well as me. So, I rewatched The Legend of Tarzan with the young bloke for some reason. Can't remember why.
Is that
What's that?
terrible?
It's better than Aquaman.
Sorry, you just said rewatched. You've seen that more than once.
I think it's the third time actually, and I'd watch it again before I watch Aquaman. 100%, not even close. Punisher season 2.
How did you go down with Punisher season 2? Because I believe
I
you
like the
were
show.
quite down on it.
I like the show, but
First 3 or 4 episodes, I was
the start was
loving.
awesome, man. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, they're back to it, and then it just went into so far down the unbelievable. Every single time the guy had an interaction with somebody, he got shot 6 times and bashed to death.
Let's go back to
And then
New
he just
York.
rocks up and goes and has another fight.
Oh, the police are chasing him again.
Yeah. Oh, he's been handed in.
cares?
Oh, someone's broke him out. Yeah. I'm with Jared. Because I listened to what you said about it. I'm like, yeah, mate, you're on the right track. But I'm just past the whole... Like, you can't get that badly traumatised, physically or mentally, and just bounce back the next day because you just feel like it. The guy was... at one point, he's in basically in a coma, and then he just gets out of bed and goes, I've got to go. And he just takes off.
Yeah, he's got a slight limp on his way out, and then he's just back to the
Like, come on. I think, yeah...
Well, I believe John Bernthal
definitely-
could do that.
Yeah.
I like Bernthal. He does a really good job in it, but the show, they've run out of ideas. Yeah. And I think that they've punted that one too now.
It's
haven't
gone.
they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're all
the
gone.
whole Marvel.
The whole Marvel
Netflix
catalog
series.
is-
I think that's for the best. Watch Bumblebee. Love Bumblebee. Bumblebee was great.
Yep.
Really good. They finally
They
figured
finally
out.
went away from the fucking robots and made it about...
Yeah, but even it just felt like you were watching the cartoon,
Yeah.
but much better. Again, had a few issues with the high diving stuff.
Yeah, that was crap, but...
I need to do this together and save the rope. She goes down and he's just laying there and he just swims to the top. I was like, what did she have to jump in there for?
Yeah.
That sort of stuff's, that just annoys me.
I had
The
issues with
details
John
but
Cena, and I love John Cena.
Yeah.
John Cena
Didn't
cannot
need
act
Didn't
at all.
need to be in there.
He didn't need to be there, but he's also rubbish.
Yeah.
You're not The Rock, mate. It's not going to happen.
Disagree.
You like John Cena in
I'll take
that?
some Cena. I will take Cena.
I'll take him in the right roles.
Yeah.
In those small
And
sort of
look,
comedic roles.
but it was
he made
all
that-
He
right
was
to have
better
him
in
in
Cock
this.
Blockers.
But he was alright to have him in this because he was just a side character. She was key, and she was fucking excellent.
Mate.
Haley Steinfeld was
Yeah,
fucking excellent.
Steinfeld was unreal. Really
Yeah.
good. Yeah, she
Just-
sold every single part of it.
She made it because they centered it around her relationships with the car and with the bloke that was in town and lived next door to her. That shit, it flew. That's where the movie made. That's why it was so decent, rather than the shit that they've been whipping out prior.
Full
Michael
disclosure, I actually cried most of the way through the movie because it was just after my dad passed away, and the whole movie is about her trying to reconnect with her dad, and I was busted about 20 times through that movie.
Shit,
So that was fun. Started watching The Good Place again, one of the more recent. I think it's the most recent season on
Netflix.
Yeah, it's pretty clever, that show. It's got some good stuff in it, but it's all the same gear. Watched Glass.
Oh, let's not go down that road.
so
too
sorry.
far.
You would have hated
Mate,
it.
I had such high hopes for Glass. After Split, I'm like, this is going to be really cool, and they fumbled everything.
Sarah Paulson character, mate.
The whole movie is poop.
It is, but her involvement takes it in the direction that he was going, and it's just that direction was fucking.
It was a poor
stupidity.
choice.
It was crap.
I don't think I've heard this on a couple of other podcasts, so I listened to a lot of them, and they said, look, we don't really think he actually had a plan at the start. He just came up with this idea recently. It wasn't always going to be this.
Yeah.
And it just, you can tell, he's just stuck bits and pieces on here and there.
And look,
the big climax at the end, it's just two blokes punching each other. It doesn't even
it
end up
made a
having a
shitload
climax.
of money on a small budget, and he's self-financed, so he's loving it.
But, I mean,
But
that's
to
fine.
me,
It
it
wasn't
didn't work.
rubbish. It
It
just had
never
so
worked.
much potential, and it never lived up to
No.
any of it.
I'm glad he cashed in on this one because he's not going to
Yeah.
cash in on any more films with these characters.
No.
I wouldn't think.
No, that's the end of them for sure.
Well, it killed them all.
Well, yeah. And what's the at the end? Does anyone know what it means when it says it's an origin story? For who?
They're saying instead of, like, in terms of I don't know, rebirth or something. But usually it's
For the whole world, seemingly. When they shoot a video.
oh my god! Well, let's stop.
We see that
it's an origin story because it's the beginning of this universe, really. Because initially you've got two people that don't know their powers, and then it turns into
so everyone's going to watch the video and go, "Oh fuck! So I haven't had a sick day in what 13 months? I better double check whether I've ever really been crooked."
So
but you find out. Look, I'm on the beach press.
If I go underwater, I suffocate. Maybe I'm a superhero.
You figure out that it's not necessarily about these guys, but that these superheroes can pop up anywhere.
Oh yes.
And they're being.
By that stage, I was fucking.
But if they're trying to take Sarah Paulson to the next city next time, and she's trying to oppress someone else, I'm hard out.
Yeah,
No,
I got it.
There will be none more.
Is that he wanted to tell stories with other characters in the same universe.
Yeah.
And so now it's just like I can cut the cord here and go and.
He's like, write me a check.
Yeah.
He's set it up.
The Shimerverse.
The bloke still didn't understand.
I'll still say I like that his characters aren't necessarily gonna impossible to beat in a fight or all that sort of thing. They're
I totally agree. I totally agree. But the bloke forgot that he's the best one of those films.
He wasted it. Yeah.
Was the most grounded type of. It was a superhero movie grounded in some reality.
Yeah.
And it worked. But then he took it in this fucking ridiculous direction.
He proved that you can have good characters and still make shit movies.
Exactly.
Hey, if anyone can do it, Shyamalan can. Yeah, no, I was massively disappointed because I was hanging out for a big time, and it just let me down.
What was happening? No.
I watched I Tonya.
Yeah.
Been meaning to get around to that for a
Any
while.
good, man?
Yeah, it was fun.
Margot Robbie, good.
Margot Robbie's good in it.
I like her mum in
Her mum is.
She was great.
Yes.
Oh, I mean that actress is good, but that character, she's really like that in real life. What a pig of a human! Like, just a prick of a person. Like nothing she ever did was good. I mean, you can see why she's a shit kid too. Like, no, I mean
she
it was
won an
fine.
Oscar, didn't she? The mother.
I think so.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fine. I didn't blow me away or anything. High Flying Bird. I think it's a Netflix original.
Yeah, shot on an iPhone, wasn't it?
It's shot on a bunch of different. It feels like a document. Wow.
Documentary?
Documentary. The word just wouldn't come out. It feels like a documentary, but it's not. It's kind of like halfway between a movie, and they do sort of interviewy stuff through it and things like that. It's pretty good. It's very basketball business side, like savvy sort of thing. So if you're not into it, it'd be a tough watch because they get right into the weeds with it.
What is it? I don't even know what it is.
It's basically like a guy that's just come into the NBA. He's like a rookie, and there's a guy ahead of him, and it's basically like interplay between him and his agent. And his agent's assistant is Zazie Beetz from Deadpool 2. Mm-hmm. She's really good in it as well. I mean, it's very strange. It's weird that it's the sort of thing that got made into a movie at all, really. But it's worth a look for the basketball fans among us, which is at least two of us. Three. You two, I meant. I watched Get Out finally. Loved Get Out.
Yeah.
It was frigging good. It was talked up a lot, and I went in with like high hopes, and it was there. It was pretty cool, man. Like just so different for that to be your first movie, and you've never done a horror before. I can't wait to see it.
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, the reviews
Us
have
is
started
getting great
coming
reviews
out from
already.
South by Southwest, and they say it's fucking really good.
Us is good.
Yeah.
No, well, even the trailer just looks awesome, mate.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was good. Watched Ghost in the Shell.
Oh yeah.
The anime, I reckon, was the same though. I didn't think that Ghost.
I don't know. Yeah, well, I mean, I watched a little bit of that, and I don't. Yeah, it's fine. I'm not interested.
No Ninja Scroll.
No, Ninja Scroll. That takes me back. Anyway, not that keen. I watched Captain Marvel as well. I was more with Jared. It's probably like a 6.5, 7. It's just a typical get the character into the MCU. Explain why she's going to show up in Endgame, give her a bit of a backstory, explain why she knows people and where she fits in. It didn't do anything wrong, it just wasn't amazing. So, yeah, that's it. I'm finally at the end of my list. I'm back.
Nice.
Back to square one.
Good list. All right, let's take a break. And here's the trailer for 1997's Face Off.
I've been chasing this guy ever since I joined the force. He has no conscience, and he shows no remorse. He's the mastermind behind numerous bombings and political assassinations. He has a felony list a mile long: murder, arson, kidnapping, terrorism, you name it. He's the most dangerous and brilliant criminal mind I've ever known. For years, I've been watching him, tracking him, studying his every move. I know his every mannerism, facial tick, gesture. I know him better than he knows himself. And now, after all this time, I finally figured out a way to trap him. I will become him. If I live.
You're not having any fun, are you, Sean? Try terrorism for hire. We'll blow some stuff up. It's more fun.
Plan B. Let's just kill each other.
Face Off, 1997, directed by John Woo, who gave us Hard Target and Hard Boiled. Produced by Christopher Goldsick, who did The Replacement Killers, Terence Chang, who was involved with Paycheck, Barry M. Osborne, who did the Lord of the Rings films, and David Permit, who gave us Hacksaw Ridge.
Oh.
Written by Mike Webb, who wrote The Mask, and Michael Caleri, Death Wish 5, Faces of Death.
Ooh, classic.
I think he may have written the bulk of it.
Yeah, maybe.
Some of these blokes went on to bigger and better things, though, safe to say. Hacksaw Ridge and like, Jesus.
It stars John Travolta as Sean Archer, Nicolas Cage as Castor Troy, and Joan Allen as Eve Archer. The budget was $80 million.
Oh.
Box office 245 worldwide. Originally, Arnie and Sly were considered for the...
Imagine that. They're totally different bodies and everything.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Schwarzenegger trying to sort of mix it up?
Impersonate.
I want to take his face off.
It would have been magic. They should have done it.
I could eat the beach for hours.
Peach.
Hey, bro.
I hate it when you call me bro. Who is brother be?
Honestly, I am just having
His
like...
brother would have been Sven Ollie too.
Imagine Sven off the horse sitting in the little Chuck Taylors with the skinny jeans and the glasses. Yes.
I would pay to see him go on about his his dessert. You know when he's singing about his bloody I can't even remember what he was
Tiramisu.
Tiramisu. Yeah.
With his tongue sandwich.
You know what? Make this film.
Do it now.
This film is Face Off 2.
We've just come up with a new pod, the Remakeable or something.
Oh, man.
I like
Alright, Gibbo, as you've returned, and this is a film that you had mentioned in the past, so what's your take on Face Off?
So I watched this film a lot as a younger person,
Yeah.
when I was much stupider.
Late 90s action too. So.
Oh, no. What is it, 97, isn't it?
Yeah, 97.
Yeah. I was trying to get some milk to come out Jared's nose and he's let me down.
I just finished.
I really liked it when I was younger. It's got a lot of stupid, little teenage boy action sort of shit. As a film, it's absolutely disgraceful. It's it's really bad. It's not to say that I don't enjoy it, but as a film, it's like Swiss cheese. You can there's holes all through everything. The overacting and the holes in the actual plot. They're too much to look past. But I also enjoy it a lot because it's so stupid. And Cage, Nicolas Cage in this, someone just let him off his leash, and he's just like, wait. I get to be someone, pretend to be someone else that's someone else. I'm in. Do I get to be high as well? Thank Christ. Here I go. And he just tees off. So, I mean, I was going 2.5, but I'm going to go 3. I hate it, but it's friggin' awesome. Does that make sense? It does, doesn't it?
Fair enough. Maddie.
That's me.
Maddie.
This was the first time you'd seen it, hasn't it?
First and second. I had to watch it twice. Because I watched it the first time and I was disgusted. It was disgraceful. I was sitting right with Gibbo on that one. And then I went, I got to watch this again because I couldn't stop thinking about it.
Well,
I had to watch it.
Impact.
I had to watch it not as an action movie, but as a comedy. And then it was amazing.
Exactly. So you're bridging the gap, mate.
When you take a step back and you realise that I don't know if it was meant to be as serious as it is. I don't know if it was that they were taking John Woo was taking himself seriously when he wanted the dichotomy of the character to really be one person.
I think it's supposed to be super serious.
That's
why it is funny.
It was horrible. So.
What does it get out of 5?
Well, I'm going to give it 3.5 because I just sat there laughing. The second time through, I laughed my head off. The first time, I was like, "This is a waste of my life." The second time, I really
So
enjoyed
the
it.
first time, what would you have given it?
1.5.
And so you gave it a 5 the second time. He gave it 5 as a comedy. It's averaged at a 3.5.
That's its upper limit.
Congratulations, John. John Woo's missed his calling. He's a comedic director.
I will agree with you that I think John Woo might have been serious, but I get the feeling that the actors were not. The performances are so broad and silly that they can't possibly have seen it as being serious.
I think they're trying to inhabit
I watched
serious.
some interviews with them afterwards.
How do you tell
they were serious. They were. So
How do you tell with Cage anymore?
I know.
How do you tell?
It's very difficult with Cage.
You watch him in a silly action movie and you watch him in a serious role. It's the same bloke. Like,
They lived together. They lived
I
together
know,
for a
but
couple of weeks to get each other's mannerisms.
I'm a bit
down.
like you, Gibbo.
look, they just hit the piss together. It's not a surprise. They weren't practicing their acting.
They were doing lines of a script.
Running lines, all right.
Well, look, let's practice being criminals. Should we go and find someone with a bag of drugs and see if we can purchase that bag of drugs?
Yeah, Cage is like, we don't need to find anyone.
I'm in top drawer.
Imagine those two method acting their way through this on set. Oh my god, it would be horrible.
For me, like you, Gibbo, I watched this a bunch of times when I was young. I enjoyed it this time around, but I didn't take it, a bit like you, I took it kind of, I think it might be a little bit more of a comedy or the comedic.
It is a comedy.
Surprisingly, the ridiculous science actually comes across better now than it used to, because they have actually done that shit. Now they've actually face transplanted people. And
Not in a week though. It's not.
no, but the science. When I remember first seeing it in '97, go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Come on, So it
But I mean,
actually has a
even-
bit better.
You were never taking that seriously. If
No.
you're buying into this movie, you're saying, okay, I'm buying into the fact that a skinny guy with receding hair can be made to look like John Travolta in a week.
And Travolta, honestly, Travolta looks like 8K.
The face surgery isn't a hang up. It's a love handle surgery.
And the bloke goes, I will just shave off the love
shave
handle.
the love
Like
handle.
you're going to be there for a while.
Yeah.
Take a couple of inches.
I gave it 3 as well, because although I don't think the action scenes are outstanding, they're pretty good in parts. And Wu does have a style that's okay, although I have got a very large dislike aimed in his direction. But 3 out of 5 for me.
Yep. Copsy.
Yeah, I was the same. You pretty much nailed it. Like, back when we were at high school, this movie was fucking incredible. Like, it was just like the best. It's got action. It's got, people swapping bodies. And
I probably watched it at your house.
It's got, like, it's bloody fantastic. And then when when you get a bit more serious and watch a few more movies, and I haven't seen this. I reckon it's been 5 to 10 years easily since I watched it last time. So I watched it this time and I'm like, action's not as good as I remember.
Yeah.
But you get so much entertainment out of these two just going over the top. Like, it's just like an overacting fucking
Fest.
Yeah, it's just every scene is over
There
the
is
top.
not one sequence where Travolta tones it down. Like,
No.
even when he's Archer at the start,
He's a
he's
hundred.
yelling all the time. He's
Maybe you should have played John Gotti like this and the movie would have been better. I don't know.
Would have been worse.
They did that to his hairline.
Yeah,
Same thing.
it's just the action doesn't hold up as well as I thought. Like, if you had to ask me what I thought of this movie before I'd rewatched it, I'd be like, yeah, the action scenes are going to be great. Despite the silliness of, switching faces, the two guys switching bodies and acting like each other's entertaining and, trying to infiltrate, trying to go undercover, but actually as the person. But, that's not really where the entertainment is anymore. It's kind of... It's so much weirder than I actually remember it.
The whole movie
weird
it feels
movie.
like Zoolander and his model buddies have written an action flick.
Yeah.
It's just everything is like overacted.
Yeah.
Everything is extreme.
But this is the thing, like when I going back into this, I was never going to take that premise seriously. I'm watching a '97 Nick Cage action flick. I'm not settling in thinking this is going to be a thoughtful sort of thoughtful pondering on what happens, the ethics of taking people's faces off and things like that. It's just a dumb action movie, and it's just so much weirder than I remember it being.
By those standards, it works.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
it's dumb as a box of hammers, and the actors, this is why I'm saying, they did interviews going, oh, look, we inhabited the characters. Bullshit, man. They just went, look, what are we going to do? We'll just fucking lock up and go overboard. Wu doesn't know what's going on. He's off shooting the second unit. We're blowing things up.
You inhabited a bottle of Jack and then jumped on set. It just went crazy.
Mate, those two were on their phone setting up their next films. They were not interested in what was going on.
Yeah.
And it works for them, no.
Yeah.
To me, it works. So what you go with
Three,
you go with
I
three?
went with a 3, yeah.
So we're all in the same range.
Vicinity.
You've gone up.
Maybe you hated it more than anyone. You gave it 3.5.
Well, I was so
day's
enraged the first time.
A day's difference means 2 stars. We might have to get you to go back and watch a couple of the Elm Street movies again.
That's right. Let's toss pieces his way.
Now, you never had to endure pieces.
You would love it.
You would love it.
You
It's on
probably
Amazon
would, you
Prime.
sicko.
This is on Amazon Prime, right?
No, pieces isn't. We'd have to get it some other way. There's a 3 disc DVD
Oh,
special edition available if you'd like to purchase.
Yeah.
Jesus
I've got a
Christ.
copy, the digital copy.
Yeah. All right, starting off with the likes, you hit the nail on the head. As far as action films go, the premise, because back in the 90s, the old one-line premise.
Yeah,
Everyone was
the
on the
elevator
one-
pitch.
And the elevator pitch in this was swap faces to find a bomb and stop basically the whole premise at the start is that. The bomb, he needs to find the bomb. So he's prepared to switch faces. You don't go past that and you can accept it. You can just go straight in. So I kind of, just like, back
Somebody green-lit it
Yeah.
just on that. Someone heard that and said, yep.
and at no point
Here's 30 million. Oh, we got Travolta and Cage. Here's 80 million.
That's what they said. We've got Sylvester and Arnie, and they're like 80. And they're like, oh, hang on, we've got Cage and Travolta. We'll get the 80 though, thanks.
I still think Sylvester and Arnie would have been superb.
That might be the greatest what if in cinema history.
That or Jean-Claude Van Damme being the Predator.
True.
Yeah, that was... But
I heard that they were going to do Van Damme and Seagal as well in the same roles.
God. Imagine that. You couldn't get Seagal's face on. You had to carve it
I
off.
would give that 80 cents.
Yeah, so from the idea of simply what they came up with, swapping faces and chasing after this bomb, that was fair enough. And I copped that okay. I'm assuming you did not. No, not really.
You haven't watched near enough action.
Yeah,
movies
they,
to get worried about that.
I don't mind the bomb, but they put like a 300-hour timer on the bomb. It's
Yeah.
meant to have 3 hours,
And
and then you leave and the bomb blows up.
We're not in dislikes, Matty. We're talking about what we
let's get
actually
to
liked
that
about the movie.
Look,
But it was funny.
the action scenes, although not top of the line, they are still big, over the top, explosive, plenty of gunplay, plenty of stuff getting blown up.
Some of them are passable.
Yeah.
And the
You're
practical stunts, as I
There's a
said to
couple-
you earlier.
yeah.
The
Wu
practical
doesn't-
stunts is legit.
Yeah, Wu doesn't do a lot of... I didn't really recall it, but he doesn't do a lot of the hand-to-hand stuff.
No.
It's a lot of the gunplay and a lot of
He does a bit of
diving out from behind a thing with 2 guns.
It's one of the
going.
first gun fu movies.
Yeah.
He does a bit of the foot-to-ball action, though.
Yeah.
There's at least 2 in there.
Several people
get kicked in the head.
That's a return to
Yeah,
form for
that's
our
how you know it
podcast.
was going to be an Arnie movie.
But even the boat chase scene at the end,
That's how they would have been able to tell who was who. We think he might be Castor Troy. Me. Yeah, that's definitely him.
but all the boats,
Knowing it was the one we'd be, oh, shit.
all the boat stunts at the end though are actually Like
Legit.
they're all practical. All
Yeah.
that was done. The guy jumping off the oil rig prison.
Yeah.
That was
There's
all
one
legit.
where an explosion goes off in the middle of the apartment, and there's a guy running up the stairs away from it. Fuck, mate, it is on him.
Yeah.
It engulfs him, and
Yeah.
he comes out of it.
Yeah.
That's funny, man.
So the
That whole
efforts,
scene.
action-wise, are passable to go along with a plot that you just swallow because it's the elevator pitch from the 90s. So
That whole scene was so funny. In the apartment, it was like that scene out of the 1960s Batman movie where he's got the bomb and he's like runs towards some nuns and he's like, I can't throw it there. But it was just a kid replaced with the bomb. They're trying to run the kid away from these gun-toting cops, and every single time it's right in the middle of the action. Just go hide in the cupboard, guys. Come on.
How he goes and stands in the middle of the glass floor and then just reaches out into space like, get under something, you dickhead.
there is so much lead flying
On the
around.
dance
That
floor.
kid is definitely getting shot.
Yeah.
I mean, there's gunfire everywhere.
I've talked about the plot being like Swiss cheese. He's Swiss cheese after that gunfire. Like, it's just shit. Because you said before, the amount of, like, you can see where all the bullets are going because there's sparks every time.
Yeah.
So, there's no way he doesn't get shot.
Mate,
They're like really good at shooting unless it's directly at one person. It's like everywhere else in the prison, they're shooting people off the top of ledges.
Yeah.
Everywhere else, people are getting
Or he pulls his, like, when old mate comes and he goes, what are you upset for? It's only Castor Troy. And he whips out his gun and shoots him directly in the forehead. And then he can't hit the broadside of a barn when someone else is... Oh.
and they're running
Yeah.
away from each other.
It's classic action movies.
Mate, look, Travolta and Cage, I loved them. They just, as I said, I don't think they got the idea that this was serious in any way.
Yeah.
And they just went over the top.
Yeah.
Like, at no point was John Travolta, was his voice below a certain decibel level.
There was not a shred of scenery left, mate.
Yeah.
They chewed the fucking lot of it.
Especially Travolta. He definitely had more scenery than Nicholas did. You could tell by his love handles.
He was fucking eating everything. Like, the moment we meet him, he's yelling and screaming in the middle of this room about how we catch up with Castor Troy.
We're so secret.
We can't even get anything done!
Secret Task Force.
It was just magic, mate. Travolta has a number of rather amusing lines when he changes into Cage.
Yeah.
And he starts sort of letting Archer know, I'm basically going to take over your life.
Yeah.
There's a couple of piss funny bits. I mean, including one with the daughter. Remember when he catches
that
up
gets
the daughter's
creepy.
boyfriend?
Yeah, oh, that's good,
And
yeah.
then he comes in, he goes, dress up in a Halloween costume and you'll attract all the ghouls.
Yeah, she's like, I typically don't blame me for getting, like, attempted to be raped. It's still better than when he goes up and tries to... he goes in the room and she's in her
That's
undies.
not good.
That's an uncomfortable scene.
That needed to go. Although it would have been
That sexual
interesting in
tension
Artie's
is wrong.
hands.
Oh, what
Oh, good lord.
he was bad enough with Alyssa Milano in... what was that one?
Yeah,
Commando. You got ice cream on your nose. I had a special life just for you,
We need to
Adzi.
watch that again.
Just for you.
Yeah.
Man of the 2000
I
side.
know!
Oh,
I think Man of the 2000s.
As soon as I saw him, I thought, yes.
It's
Adam.
strange
Yes.
enough, it's 1997,
Yeah,
so he was
yeah.
a little bit ahead of his time.
It wasn't quite his best form. It wasn't
He had
2000s yet.
crested.
He was still riding the wave.
Has he done anything better? That's the next question. But can anyone explain to me the slow clap when Castor Troy's in the fight and he's saying something about I can't remember what it is, and then old mate's in the background just doing a slow clap in slow motion.
He makes a pretty average gag, and everyone else was like knee slapping, and
And that guy's like, you just said the most amazing thing I've ever heard in my life. And I'm like, what is happening? This guy just thinks everything's moving.
Yeah. The opening scenes, Cage is just.
That
He
mustache
is,
should
I mean,
be, he should
when
be
he's in
fine
that
for having that
episode,
mask.
From that point, you knew Cage is. He's had a look at this script and just gone, this is a chance to fucking throw everything at the wall here. And so he comes out, he's dressed like a priest, but he's wearing that variation of Jim Carrey's haircut and Dumb and Dumber. He's got that kind of fringe
The
going.
forward comb, yeah.
I was like, what's going on here?
I
And
think
then
it's commonly known as a Caesar.
and then he starts dancing, woo, kind of carrying on, and I'm like, he's just dead set. He's just cashed his check and gone, done
That's
whatever
why he's
he wanted on this
dancing.
set.
The check just cleared.
Yeah.
Beaut.
And he goes up behind that young choir girl and
That's great
says something about her voice. He hasn't even heard her sing,
Yeah.
and then grabs her on the ass.
But when he drops the bird out of the plane shortly after that too, and he's doing that evil shrug with the big smile, and I'm like, he's a hair off Jim Carrey here. Like he's really
right there,
pushing
mate.
it.
Yeah, he's right there.
I like that he's trying to have a conversation with Archer from the plane that's moving.
Yeah.
Gee, what are yours, Sean? I was like, what are you saying?
What?
I also like that he had the time to, with that, very very dated technology on the bomb, that he had time to code a skull and crossbones in. I'm looking at that they're using and thinking, you're lucky to get the fucking numbers on the screen here.
Yeah.
Someone's wasted a lot of time to put that skull and crossbones on there. But yeah, it was kind of all that stuff added to this whole thing of how the movie was just hanging over the edge of ridiculous, but some of it was like just before you dive off the edge, and other parts were just diving headlong into it. Like, it just managed to find this weird tone that was strangely entertaining.
It's funny that the opening sequence, where probably the first 5 or 10 minutes there, it's kind of there's a like and a dislike for me. I think that they quickly sort of set up, Archer and Castor Troy, and that their connection to each other, the bomb. So they give you the simple pieces, right? And the fact that Archer's son was killed and everything by Castor. But the dislike is it fucking rockets through. It doesn't breathe for a second. It just goes whoop. And you're sort of like, hang on, can I just go back for a second? I missed something.
Who was the guy with the mustache?
Who's Pollock's Troy? That's what I started saying.
Yeah. Why didn't he take a second shot? Surely he had 2 bullets.
Why didn't he fire
kill him the
Archer's
first
head?
time?
Why doesn't he shoot Archer in the head?
Ain't small, miss small, mate.
I think his mustache jammed the gun.
It's a lovely.
He's taking the first shot.
I'm done.
Oh fuck! I got
This time he's drinking a milkshake with his mustache. He's like, I'm going to sniper these motherfuckers. And he's like, I'm going to have a sip of my milkshake.
That is pure Cage. He's like, John, don't worry about it, mate. I'm going to come in. He comes on set. Dirty mustache.
Dirty broom on his lip.
I borrowed it from Kurt Russell.
John Lewis says, yeah, but his is legit. Yours isn't.
We're talking about jumping right into it though. The airport action scene was actually pretty good to start with.
Yeah.
I had one dislike with it. We'll get to that later on, but as you said, like you sort of jump right into stuff. There's probably some other things that you need to do beforehand, but that part of it is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Playing chicken with the plane.
Yeah, of course. You're just going to drive into it.
That's happening too, isn't it?
They actually did that thing with the helicopter and the plane. They were flying the helicopter on the plane wing. Like that sort of stuff's pretty cool. And you can tell that it's real.
Yeah.
So that scene was actually all right.
That was so.
As I said, I got a big dislike with that scene later.
That's why it was funny though, because the timing of everything did not make sense. Because that runway must have been 17 kilometres long.
Don't ruin my dislikes, mate. I'll get there.
I also for some reason I kind of enjoyed the fact that he got picked up by the jet engine and thrown back into the.
Oh, it looked cool.
It looked
when
awesome.
They turned it on, and he just goes flying through the air.
Yeah, it looked awesome. Like it looked really cool. Don't know how legit it is.
I thought he would have got burnt.
Scientifically,
Yeah, surely you get singed slightly.
But you are
face onto my face.
Yeah.
Or you continue flying through the fucking grill in pieces.
Yeah,
Like,
you chopped a
They
bit.
They should have just pasted an old burnt cooked chicken from Coles onto his face, because that's what it should have been.
But then we don't get. But then we can't have both of them changing faces. And one of them would be burnt.
Inhabiting each other's lives.
Bodies. Yeah.
Funnily enough, when they're actually doing the face swapping, I was looking at all the computers and stuff and going, "Oh, this is going to be really bad. Like it's going to look really dated." But it actually doesn't. Like the what they're using on the screen and stuff looks dated, but all the way that the bodies get scanned and kind of turn, like it sort of holds up.
Yeah.
The ear.
The ear, when you do the ear, that looks like 3D printing, basically. So that stuff is actually, I was kind of geared up for a real big laugh in that scene, but it actually held up a lot better than I thought.
They give him a haircut on the table.
A laser haircut. No, but see, this is what I'm saying, Matty. I'm not laughing. I'm not looking at that and going, that looks realistic. I'm looking at it going, it could have looked really dated, like some of the computer stuff in movies where it's clear no one's ever used a computer.
But even when the doctor,
it actually looked okay.
Even when the doctor actually says, you put the face on and then you attach muscles to muscles and all nerve endings and all that stuff together, that's kind of the science behind
It was
the whole
very
thing.
basic.
The morphogenetic faceplate.
They've basically done what they've done is they've tried their best to make it seem
They pretty much
or it
took
might be normal.
science that isn't going to work and just said, here's a 2-minute description of how this is going to, how you're going to buy this for the plot.
Because that doctor, he is on screen for what? A couple of minutes maximum?
3 minutes.
He's barely in it.
Yeah.
He provides exposition on the surgery. That's it.
But then when they start doing all that and you see the computers start remolding the face without actually seeing any of it being done, and then you see the odd laser and things like that, and you're like, sweet.
They just do things to take you right out of the mood, though. They're doing the voice modulation, and the thing that he says is peach. Like,
Well, because that's good.
But
The agent on the plane had a recording of him saying that. That's the only reason.
how did they have the recording?
I just love the
You
fact
took it
that
way too seriously. You must have taken it so seriously.
I did,
the
but
first
then he
time you
did it,
watched
and he
No,
loved it.
Peach.
I love the fact that they just go, say it again, and he says it again. They go, it's gone from 25% to 80%.
Yeah.
Just say it
It's
again,
just a bit better.
100%.
There you
They
go.
had some tools in
Really?
there.
What'd you do? He didn't do anything to it.
No, they adjusted it. He's turning a knob. You missed that.
He's turning a knob. He turns it like one piece one way. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, there we go.
100%.
I definitely took it seriously first time I watched
Yeah.
it.
You can't. I mean,
You
you watch
can't,
that.
you
You
can't.
can't
Yeah,
sit
you
there
cannot.
and go, "Oh, really?
'Cause
Come
the
on." I
entire
mean, they
premise
just
is
cut
so
his
dumb.
face off. Like, of course, he's going to be fucking screwed. They're not going to fix that. Like, and if they do, his face is going to be swollen and he won't be able to talk properly. His
Jared, they had lasers.
Exactly. That's all I thought. I'm like, oh, they got a magic laser that can fix the scarring after about 10 seconds.
I do
Like
like.
yada yada the science. That's all you have to
Exactly.
worry about.
Exactly.
I for some reason I got a giggle out of when Cage wakes up, and he hasn't got his face,
Yeah.
and he gets the boys around. They get the doctor, and he goes. The doctor goes, "What do you want?" And he goes, "Take one goddamn guess." Yeah, and his face is fucking. You just see it like reflected in his glasses, and
Yeah.
he's faceless.
A few problems with that.
Yeah, he wouldn't have survived. He would have died.
He also blinks.
Yeah,
Your
he
eyelids
goes
are part of your face.
He blinks a couple
as
of
are your
times.
lips, and he's clearly smoking a cigarette.
Because they try and do the whole thing where
What's the lid on?
He's just going.
he can't talk. Or they were sort of had him on the phone and he was mumbling and it's like, oh, he's got no lips. But it's like he wouldn't be able to talk at
He
all.
actually doesn't mumble though. He speaks clearly, and then he goes,
does.
"Oh!"
Yeah, that's right. That's
I was waiting for him to go, mirror.
Yeah, like,
How about funny was Travolta waking up from the surgery?
Oh yeah,
Fuck you!
yeah, fuck you! Fuck you!
that's Cage waking up from the surgery.
Okay,
He's pointing at everybody.
You got to say Sean Archer
Yeah.
as. Come on, it's confusing. Yeah, I don't know. That's where they go overboard. It's just ridiculous.
Everywhere.
He's clearly traumatized by his own reflection. They do that gag so many times later on when he's got the gun and he starts
Yeah,
pulls up
he
into the thing and they're both pointing at each other through the wall.
The best one is when he's talking to his wife and she looks at him and he's like, oh, it like covers his face. I'm hideous!
Don't look at my face. Don't
Just
look
walk
at my face.
away. I'm hideous.
He watched Phantom of the Opera or something beforehand. He's like,
See, Cage continues to give the whole the eyeball. He's always got
yeah.
his eyes are sort of popping out, whereas
Yeah.
Travolta doesn't quite go that far. But what he ends up with is some sort of weird. The way he walks every time he comes out, he kind of
It's sort of
swaggers out,
swaggery.
and
A lot of high
does
pitched
look
screaming.
like-
A lot of, whenever he gets fired up, there's a high pitch. Yeah, I actually. I thought, like, getting to the prison.
The prison break was
Cage-
alright.
Nick Cage as Sean Archer playing Castor Troy, like pretending to be Travolta, pretending to be Nick Cage, is fucking awesome. Like, dude, it's just a masterclass of overacting. It's fucking brilliant. And as he's there, he's there going like, he starts screaming out that I'm Castor Troy and all this sort of shit, and then starts doing that weird smile. And as Maddie pointed out, he does one part, he's like there going, and then he goes, back to smiling.
Smile cry, smile cry, smile cry.
Absolutely.
God, brilliant.
It's so good.
I got flashes in that Arrested Development with the brother who seemed to be the chicken. The cock. Anyway.
Yeah, what? Do you reckon he watched the footage back and went, nailed it?
Mate, he's
Do you
all
think
in.
that
He's all
everybody's standing around that monitor going, what the fuck are we
Because I
going
mean,
into?
what do you do when you turn up on set? You're like, I'm in a John Woo movie. I'm playing John Travolta in my body.
Yeah.
What
Nobody's
You're not
interested.
sitting there going, oh, this is kind of Shakespeare. This is
Nobody's
this is how I play it.
interested
You
in
just-
anything but that I do except they just want to see things blown up because it's a John Woo picture.
Exactly,
So I'll just
like-
do whatever I want.
So for what you wanted Nick Cage to do in this movie, that's
Nailed it.
exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did. I also wonder why.
Again, he waited for the check to clear before he started nailing anything.
I also wonder why we still, in this day and age, don't have a high security prison with magnetic boots. Fucking brilliant idea.
Yeah, I know.
Lock them down.
You know, as a couple of teachers in this room, I'd fucking love to be able in the classroom.
Careful, Joe.
Boots are all locked on the floor.
Jeez.
Yeah,
So,
well,
yeah,
that-
in the like the whole idea of that again, taking any sort of long thought process out of how this wouldn't work, saying prison with magnetic boots.
Yeah, I like
fucking
it.
awesome action movie
and,
idea. Like,
and I love the fact that it was kind of like it was on a oil rig.
Yeah.
It was kind of out in the
When he
ocean.
escapes,
like,
he thinks he's just found out how to do a
like
runner.
Alcatraz, it was out in the middle of the ocean. So I thought that, and that's probably the best action scene for me. It's undershot for John Woo. It's less of that shit he brings.
That slow motion.
Yeah, it goes from
Slow
more of a
motion's
straight down the
brutal.
line, straight classic action stuff. You can see what's going on. The shootouts are quite good.
Yeah, not too many quick
The
cuts.
escape
and
is
shit.
good.
No shaky cam.
Not enough doves in that prison for my liking.
Speaking of, during that action scene, and speaking of Jared's affinity for high-pitched screams, at one point, a guy gets shot from below through his foot.
Yeah.
And he unleashes what can only be described as the Nutrigrain ad scream. only Australian people would understand that. But the guy, Dead Set, go back and listen to it. I'm 100% sure it's stock footage of the Nutrigrain ad scream. Prove me wrong.
You have to link that. You're going to have to link that.
Mate, I'm telling you, that's exactly what he does. It's great. My next favourite scene after that is when he, as I sort of alluded to earlier, when he takes the drugs, when he goes to Dietrich's house and just starts
He rolls
tripping
over the
balls.
bed and falls over. And
When he, as he rolls off the bed backwards though, and then he jumps up with his gun and he's just when he first goes into the bedroom, he just falls face first. We've all been there.
I actually think there's a really underrated gem of a line when he walks in and Castor Troy's brother-in-law or whatever he is that looks at him and goes, what's wrong with you? You look like you just fucked your mother. I just lost it. I mean, of all the things to say.
yeah, that was piss funny.
They're a good bunch of dudes to have around. They laugh at his jokes like nobody's business.
Yes.
They're
The
like,
outfits they're wearing are fringe XXX.
Yeah. Dietrich is wearing a yak style coat. No doubt about that.
I just
Some
remembered
weapon in there.
that was one of the other things I watched. I watched the new Triple X movie.
Oh,
did ya?
Yeah, it's fucking terrible.
Right,
He has the biggest fur coat of all time. It looks like a yak's climbed on his back.
Oh, good lord.
oh man. The other really decent action scene for me is also the shootout in the apartment, because it ramps it up a bit. It brings in the wooisms, but I kind of like the whole. He's listening to the headphones and it's got a bit of that and it's showing you in slow motion and people getting shot and then there's the whole back to back. When they're back to back.
Yeah, that's total cliche, that bit, but it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I feel the
It's kind of-
over the rainbow bit is a bit pretentious.
It is, but it's
I didn't mind
There's
it.
some good stuff in there, but as soon as it does,
to me.
come on,
To
mate.
me,
They're
it was
used to do slow motion.
For me, that's
he
the
loves
time
the
to
slow-mo.
use all your John Woo bullshit. You don't need it in all the other scenes, and unfortunately, as one of my dislikes is that he just can't help himself.
Let's
so
put some more
fucking-
couch cushions. I want to see some feathers
He's
flying.
so self-indulgent. That stuff, like people used to go, greatest action director of all time. No, he's like a one-trick pony, mate. That's what he can do.
Shoot at a glass of jar of beads.
I-
Make them bounce everywhere.
when they went into that apartment, I was kind of sitting there going, there's a lot of glass in here. Something's going to happen.
Something's gonna
A lot of windows. I kind of liked the bit where they were back to back with the mirrors because it was like...
Yeah, and then they turn to
knew-
face themselves.
Yeah, you knew what it was.
Trying to
Again,
say.
it was a little bit pretentious, but it was kind of just enough. It was just a hint of that
I
shit.
do love the fact that they both fire at the same time, but then they both go, ooh, and duck out of the way.
They knew what each other was going. That's
Yeah.
how well they know each other. He's going to fire right now. I'm going to fire right now. We'll dodge.
I'm so fast, I'm going to go bang, and then duck, and it's going to miss me. Like,
I've never seen Travolta move so quickly for a stocky.
That wasn't Travolta. It was Nicolas Cage.
Did anybody else find it funny how quickly Archer got attached to everybody in his life? Like within like.
Well, you guys are criminals, but geez, you're good blokes.
Yeah.
You guys you're a lovely
I
lady.
can't believe you shot him in the neck. He laughs at all your jokes.
Yeah.
From somebody who's never had anybody laugh at any of his jokes.
Does anyone know why? Not Archer. Why Castor Troy as John Travolta as Castor Troy was shooting at the chick with the little kid? He was shooting at them, and then Dietrich jumps in the way.
Because he's just a...
Well, he's
just a prick.
He's gone. Yeah. Well, no. The whole idea was
wanted
that's
to clear
why
out
he disarms the
competition.
bomb.
Yeah.
The whole idea is he's going to be. We don't need the bomb anymore because I'm going to become Time Man of the Year. Unbelievable.
Get him clear out all of the competition so that he would have exclusive terrorist reign over
Wasn't
the
that
world.
scene past it? The one.
No.
Oh,
So
no.
this is the
In the
apartment
prison,
shootout.
he explains it to his brother.
Yeah.
In the prison, he explains it to his brother. We're going to get rid of all the competition. Then we're going to.
You're talking about the bomb. He'd already disarmed that.
Yeah, I think
that was the reason.
Yeah, I know what Adam's saying though, but he's just saying he doesn't care about these people anymore. He's gonna
So with her,
he's gonna betray
he
everyone.
was finished with her.
Ultimately,
and
it
just taking
was
the chance to
clunky
clear her
as
out,
shit
and
though
that's-
because you couldn't really tell. Like it didn't explain it greatly.
No,
They
it
just
just
had
seemed like because
sequences
he had
where
him in
it
his
was like-
sights and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna shoot them. It's like why? I guess once you've shot one kid, you're okay with it then? I don't know. It just seemed weird. Like that's he doesn't even know that's his kid at that point either. Only like no, hang on. Anyway, he doesn't know that that's his son, even though the other person's already been told that it's their son and it's not his son, it's the other guy's son.
Oh my god.
During that scene though, that shootout there, when they get to the mirrors bit and everything, it's sort of just the two of them left. Does anyone have any flashbacks to one of the Marvel movies? Because John Travolta turns into Quicksilver and starts running around in a circle.
Yeah, that's
Did it
right.
remind you of it? You know when he's running in a circle around
And
the
he's
wall?
shooting at you.
It looks exactly like that. He's just because he's on a lean. It's like, John, you're not going that fast. It looks exactly like that Quicksilver scene though, when old mate's like, he dips his finger in the sauce on the way past.
Yeah,
go back and watch it. I'm telling you.
Those Quicksilver scenes are
So
fantastic.
you guys are going to have to watch this again now. Look at all the shit I'm telling you. Nutri-Grain Scream, Quicksilver, John Travolta.
Look, I will
just gonna
take your word
for
for
it.
it.
I actually liked. Again, shouldn't be a like, but I laughed so hard and kind of got a bit of enjoyment out of it. When the little boat jumps clean through a bigger boat without like a scratch or anything on it, obviously there's a little ramp there, so it kind of goes shooting
That's
off
how
up
big
into
boats are built. So if the little boat hits it, it just goes straight through it and
Just
jumps
goes
it.
straight through it without a scratch, and the big boat blows up.
Yeah.
It looked fucking hilarious when it went through.
But they really did it, so it's real.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly how it works.
Near the end, we sort of alluded to this earlier on, but one of John Woo's famous things is that he has doves everywhere. And then they get to this scene at the end, and they're on the beach, and he's like, fuck it, seagulls. And there's seagulls, and then, like, 5 minutes later, doves.
Yeah.
In the church. Like, why are the doves there? Why?
Yeah.
Oh. But
Seagulls are
brilliant.
cheaper. Just throw the chip and you're off.
But you can tell the difference. That's the best part. I'm like, those aren't doves, they're seagulls. I'm like, did he really just skimp it on this one? And because I remember the doves being in it, and then
Yeah,
later
you
on
got-
you're like, oh no, that's a
He
dove.
got to the location and said, "Oh fuck, they're already here, so we may as well just shoot."
We'll
them."
use them. Oh no, let's move it back to doves now.
You mentioned it before a little bit, but towards the end, the boat, the stunt where they both get thrown off the boat, looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell that's two guys just
Getting
getting
fucked
flung
up.
through the air, and behind them the boat is just about to fucking.
Hit them.
It's about to hit them, and you're thinking it's going to blow up too, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
But it just the shots of them. That was the one time I'm like, yeah, I'm glad they did that in slow mo, so I can fully appreciate these two grown men being fucking flung.
They
through
really
the air.
did that shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. They must have just been on bungee cord. That's all I can
Yeah.
figure out.
They could have stretched
awesome.
that out a bit longer, I think. Them just like scrounging around on the ground after that.
When he gets shot with a harpoon and shit.
Just be in between. In between.
Any other likes to bring to the table?
No. I feel like we've said too many already.
I laughed so hard that the wife couldn't pick.
I actually kind of the fact that he told her about his blood type, the bloke's Castor's blood type, was the way that she worked it out because she pretty much, he goes, don't, after he goes, oh, don't look at me, he goes, shh, don't say anything. Then he gives her the blood type information, and she kind of just cops. Like she just kind of cops it.
I do. I kind of laughed when she kind of gives him the pinprick while he's asleep, though. If that was me, I definitely would have woken up. I mean, I woke myself up with a, rumble in the guts or something.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I just woke myself up.
Well,
If someone's pricking me with a pin,
I know.
I'm jumping out of bed, getting into fighting stance, like, fuck, what's that?
I mean, I nodded off in front of the TV and woke up to the sound of me going. So, yeah, I'm waking up to that.
Oh,
Well, I thought when he was explaining that, because he had the rag up his shirt, right? And then he says to her, this is my blood type, this is his blood type. I thought he was leaving her the rag with the blood on it.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that easier than having to do a pinprick of the guy that's like a homicidal maniac in your bed? Maybe just take this blood and go, DNA test.
Possible.
That's
Well,
my
I guess
husband.
what she was
She gets on board with him so quickly after that.
But as long as she tested Sean, it meant that, yes,
that was
definitely not Sean.
But their DNA, it wasn't just their blood type, it was their DNA was the stayed in them, right? So
Yeah.
she could have tested the bloody rag and gone, shit, that's Sean Archer.
Yeah, true.
Solves the problem.
Because he gave
And then he
her
has to
that-
tell her the story about the fucking rice seed. Even though it must have hurt like hell. You kissed me.
His romantic dinner, though. His romantic dinner that he had set up for her. There's about
Served it
20
to-
lobsters on the thing. She's a vegetarian.
Yeah, it was like something.
I looked into this way too deeply.
It was like something out of a bloody strip joint or something. Because it was like bloody candles everywhere.
I was
Definitely
thinking more
getting
like it was
poisoning.
Carrie's mum had organised a romantic dinner.
You know what? I actually call me crazy. I actually bought more that his wife didn't pick it because he was such a shit husband before and he was never there than the FBI not picking it. I'm like, at one point they're saying he's acting head of the FBI. I'm sitting there going, I could not fake that for fucking 2 minutes without making a disastrous mistake. Someone's putting me on administrative leave. Like, I'm not heading the FBI for what seems to be at least weeks. Are we talking weeks?
Yeah.
At least.
Someone's kicking me out. My wife, I'm turning up at what he seems to be turning up at bloody 8 o'clock every night and going, hey, and then going to bed. Like, that's why she doesn't know.
Yeah.
But the FBI knows.
That's
I go, what about you, Archer? What do you think we should do?
blow
Let's
something
kick the doors down and blow it up. What do you reckon? Yeah. It worked last time.
Time man of the year.
I cannot believe it was time, man.
That was
Not only
great.
That was a
that,
bit of a
but
reach.
he's time man of the year. He's talking to the president and he gives the old, put the president on hold. Like,
Give it talk to my
give
wife.
us a spell. But funnily enough, that sort of stuff was what sent it into even more extra entertaining territory because it was so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. Ludicrous.
And
Created this
I had
lifestyle.
to laugh too when he gives he's talking with Pollux as Travolta, and he's like, he says, you think you've got it bad? Look at this. What does he say? The nose, the hair, this ridiculous chin.
Yeah, they made him say it. That was pretty good.
Like, yeah, that's right on
So
the money.
good.
Yeah.
There's actually another good line in that too, because he goes, "You're not the only one in the family with brains." And he goes, "No, I am the only one with the looks." And he's like, "Touche." Pretty good. But yeah, getting him to say he has a ridiculous chin when it's his real chin. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Good sport.
All right, any other likes?
No.
I thought we'd already gone into the dislikes.
We've been bridging the gap for a
I feel like
now.
this whole movie's right down the middle. It
Yeah.
can go either way with anything.
It's on a
100%.
knife's edge, mate.
I
I
specifically
love the
had-
fact that you can shoot out the edges of a large plane with a Glock handgun from
one-
50 metres
one
away.
round.
That round wouldn't even reach. It just dropped down. And he just goes, boom, and then suddenly,
Yeah.
pyrotechnics everywhere, bloody
He actually
sparks.
managed to hit the fuel line between the turbines.
God.
Yeah.
I also like that the FBI agent on the plane, the one that's been planted on there, the woman, she pulls a gun and then gets defeated by a briefcase.
Yeah.
He flings a briefcase and she goes, oh! I'm like, yeah, you should have gone back to training.
I love the fact
Surely you just brush that off and then fire it. I don't know. But
I also love the fact that she's deep undercover. I mean, you would have to be deep undercover in that type of organisation. And they get on the plane, and as they're getting on, she's on the mobile phone. I gotta go.
The customers are here. And he's like, wouldn't he be like, who the fuck are you talking to?
Archer.
There's a serious miscommunication there because they're like, we've got him because his brother's paid for the plane ticket. There's an FBI agent with him on the plane. Why
Yeah.
do they need this tip off at the airport?
Yeah, she knows where they are.
She's with them. She can pop him at any time.
Holy shit, you have just punched a hole through the whole thing. I didn't even think
What holes did you think I was talking about in the plot? They brought an undercover.
The whole
agent.
face-off part of it.
It's like that. Yeah, oh, we've cracked the case. We found the guy. Oh, hang on, we've known where he was the whole time.
Yeah, Oh, yeah, that's right. We've had someone deep undercover. Oh, have we?
Maddie
Look at that,
also,
Stacey.
Maddie also brought this up earlier, but why was there like fucking 300 hours on the clock? Like, I'm sure if you're on the plane, you don't need, you know, they've given themselves a fucking month's head start before the city blows up. I think you could get far enough away.
In a slightly different version of the script, there would have been a shot that said 18 May, and they're sitting around the convention centre.
I think.
Have we forgotten something?
I think.
That's right, there's a bomb in here.
Yeah, looking at it, I think it was. This is what I could piece together, but it was timed for an event.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
no,
18th of May had something to do with...
Did at one side, Tom, you see a bar association sign?
It doesn't matter. It's going to blow up the whole fucking city.
You
And
could
there's
do
gonna
it
be a
now. It
nuclear-
doesn't matter.
There's going to be a nuclear fallout afterwards. Who cares?
Well, that's the thing. They said they wanted everyone together, but as you said, they reckon the things.
Fallout was going to be like for miles.
No, there's some court justices that were going to be there on that date, which were going to be presiding over a case that had to do with the Troy brothers. That's why they were doing it. There's a bar association sign.
These
Why
guys...
happened to bloody just the old-fashioned rifle?
Go to his house and neck him. Just
Also, these guys seem to do whatever they want, whenever they felt like it. Why the fuck do they care that a couple of judges are presiding over a case they're involved in? They're not in the clink.
Yeah, they seem to be getting away on.
Yeah, they just get away on
really
planes. They do whatever they want.
Doesn't matter what the judge says because they haven't caught you.
Yeah.
Hole number 2.
Hey, that is bloody. You could drive a bloody aeroplane through that.
This one I'll have to give props to. I'm pretty sure it was. I think it was the Now Playing podcast, but the specific. Oh no, it was Mad About Movies. They actually did one on this recently on Face Off. They're also sickos, obviously, and they specifically reference what they like to call the meat waterfall, which is the thing down the kid's face that he does to everybody. That's not an affectionate thing to do. That's creepy and weird. And like they said that, and I'm like, I never really thought about it. Fuck, that's a weird thing to do. And then he does it to strangers later on and shit like that.
He does it to his wife a couple of times.
Yeah.
I did it to my wife.
Did you
She
did you
did
take
not like it one little bit.
What are you doing?
It's not an affectionate thing to
She
do.
kicked you in the balls?
Instant reaction.
Anyway, the meat waterfall happens quite a few times. It's not a good
kind of
thing.
meant to be like this is how we know it's,
It's our traditional sort of greeting. No, sorry.
No.
I'm not a Kurgan. I don't eat waterfalls, thanks.
If we're going to talk about mannerisms, stupid mannerisms, there's a fair few of them.
Yeah.
Pollux with his glasses.
Yeah, and
It's like, he's like, man. It's like he's got a monocle or something and
Yeah,
he's hatching an
keeps
evil
he
plot.
looks down at him at one point in the prison, I think, and starts going,
Hi, bro. No, but he does the little finger wave thing
that's
too.
right. Yeah, the finger wave.
The
Hi,
shoelaces was stupid.
Yeah.
Like he can't
Well,
tie his
it's because
shoelaces.
he's autistic, sort of, I guess.
But I think that, again,
Well, that's representation in 90s action movies, isn't it?
these were the
Yeah.
bits. These were the bits that made me think somebody thought this was a serious picture at some point, and part of this may have been picked up.
Yeah, anyone that was putting this together for Arnie and Sly, who's thinking of a serious
I don't know, because why would you have all that bullshit? Like, there's that bit at the end where after Pollux has been killed, he reaches down and does up his
Ties up his shoelace.
shoelace. And I'm like,
In the middle of all
you're in
that.
the middle of a gunfight. Forget about that shit. Make sure your own shoes are done up, you idiot.
That's how he deals with it.
My biggest dislike is what I said before about John Woo. I love the man. Look, his one trick is entertaining, but you just can't keep doing it all the time. And by the time we got to Face Off, he'd had how many? I think this was his 4th US film, because he'd had Hard Target was his first. Then he did Broken Arrow, Mission Impossible 2,
Yeah, that
and
sounds
then
right.
this. By that stage, I'd grown tired of that shtick. And all the slow-mo, as you said, the movie's 2 hours and 15 minutes. It would have been...
It'd have been about a 65-minute movie if we'd have been in normal speed. I mean, the slow-mo during the action scenes is one thing, but we were getting slow-mo when Travolta's walking into the fucking FBI office.
Turning around,
Yeah, we
sitting
just kept
down.
Talking to
He
his
just
wife.
walks out of the elevator and then all of a sudden it breaks into slow-mo and it's just like a close-up of his head in slow-mo for a
You can
couple
see
of seconds.
jowls jiggling. It's good.
And it happened it happened a couple of times. With
It's
that sort of-
like, as I said to you,
weird.
if he'd have put all of that shit, if he'd have shot everything else straight, and then put all of those flourishes into the big shootout in the apartment,
Yeah.
then you could have copped it. Because you said that you go, there's the John Woo trademarks, they're all here. but everything else is shot straight. You know, like he's shooting the action scenes without any slow mo, and he's, you know, because he does them all practical, so it's always going to look good if he gets it. He gets the right angles, which he's capable as a director. But it's like he can't help himself. It's like someone says to him, no doves. No, we just need a few doves. We're a couple.
It just, there'd be a bit where it would
What about
start
seagulls?
slowing down, and you'd be like, and then the music stops, the camera got like a little bit glary, and then everybody's cleared out of the room that was initially in there. You're just like, what's happening? Like, it just killed took you right out of the mood of what was actually happening in the movie.
There's no suspense to any of this.
I'll tell you what took me out of the mood in the opening gunfight at about the 13-minute mark when Cage first dives from the plane with the two golden guns. He dives out of the plane, he shoots an agent, right? The agent looks like he fucking slips on a banana peel. The stuntman was doing, but he lets his legs flick up underneath him and then just takes a hard fall. Then 30 seconds later, a bloke sort of sneaks up on him and he turns around and fires a shotgun at him, and the bloke goes for fucking miles. He just goes boom and flies back towards the nearest wall. Then for 2 seconds, you see the wires that he's hanging from just kind of slack next to him. I'm like, that's Wu at his worst. In 30 seconds, he's just had two stuntmen massively overselling things, and then you've shown us the wires.
There's
as well.
some weird
Like,
things happening in that scene in the house. They're chasing. Who is it? A Cage is being chased, and a guy comes in with a bazooka again and just starts shooting randomly at the stairs. It just makes no sense. It's such a weird thing to do.
But again, Wu does show that he's capable as a director with things like the punch up in the prison between Castor Troy and that big unit.
Dubov.
Yeah, that looks cool. Like it happens. It all happens in real time. All the camera work is good. You know that they're sort of circling each other and the camera's circling them. It looks good, and he just showcases what he's capable of. But then it's like a security blanket. He can't help it. He just goes, "Oh fuck, we have to go back to this crap that I've been doing my entire career." It's like he can't sort of differentiate. Like, I'll give you an example. Super focused, laser focused Ridley Scott can go and do something totally different to what he might have, like Alien. Alien's one thing, then he'll go and do a Black Hawk Down or one of those biblical films he did and shit like that. He'll mix it up, and he's capable of that. But Wu just seems like it's just this or it's nothing.
Yeah.
He's only got a medium level of focus. He's not laser focused.
He's
like
not
Ridley.
laser quite. By the way, John Woo does have a Dolph Lundgren picture in
Yes, I know.
his canon called Blackjack.
Yep.
Blackjack. I've never heard of that one.
Well, get on it. He can't see. He has trouble seeing colours or something, or white or something. I remember seeing it on many years ago.
Wow.
Right.
It's a turd.
There's a premise for it. This bloke can't see white.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's something like that. I can't
Hello, had a
remember.
pitch for the win.
We did alluded to it earlier on, but the runway scene with the jet trying to take off. When they're doing the chicken thing, right, and old mate swerves, he goes around the jet accelerates and the jet takes off. Simple as that. No, he stops, he goes and looks at a dead lady that's on the road, then runs, gets in a stationary helicopter on the ground, manages to take off and catch up to a jet before it's left the ground.
Yeah.
Nah. Also, as Matty said, the world's second longest runway, behind only the one in Fast and Furious 7. It's the second longest, because that one's, was it 7 or 6? There's one where they're just
They all
going.
morph into one.
It's the one where Han and Wonder Woman die. What's that one? Oh no, it's one of the. It's definitely not 8 now that I think about it, because that's the one with the submarine. It's 7 or 6. Either way, the runway thing, like somewhere logic has to come into it where like this jet it wasn't taxiing to a runway, it was on the runway. As soon as they get past that car, it just goes, "Yep, we're out," and they take off. The helicopter can't catch it, guys.
Oh, yeah. I tell you what, mate, I'm coming back to what you said before. The sequence where he comes into his daughter's room for a cigarette.
Ooh, Daddy's got a brand new bag.
Not good.
No.
Super un.
Just take it out.
Would it not have just worked?
I just don't think it aged.
Would it not have just worked that I'm the cool dad now?
Yeah,
Like,
why
I'm
do you
gonna
do
give
that?
you-
Oh,
here's-
gee, I
here's a
really-
cigarette.
Give us a dart, yeah.
Yeah, like
And he could have still said, "There's going to be a lot of changes around here."
Yeah.
Now.
How old was Dominique Swain when the movie was made?
No, she would have been about 20.
I hope. Because even...
It just looked bad, that's all.
Yeah,
Really
it's
bad.
just not a good look anyway. But like, if she was underage at that point, the sexualization of a younger person in that movie, even the fact that she's supposed to be, 16-ish, it's a bit sketchy.
But then again, her character is superfluous.
Yeah, I know, but
You could have just got rid of her.
you still have to do it the right way if you're
You
going
have to do it the right
Yeah.
way, but looking back on her character, she really only exists to be captured.
For the church. I'll disagree
The
with
church
that.
stuff. Yeah.
That she also had a purpose to bring Cage back to being the family man because he stood up for her against the dodgy boyfriend in the car, and then because he gave her the knife, he wanted to protect her.
Yeah, but
It was
he
trying to say that they're
He
both.
tries to kill his missus.
Yeah, I know, but I think what obviously it makes no sense because it's a ridiculous movie. But I think what they were trying to do was say that both men, regardless of what side you are, you're going to come back to the
Yeah,
middle
they were
at some point.
trying to. It was clear that they were trying to make that there was common ground.
Every man
somewhere with these
has
guys.
good and evil, and it's that fight
Yeah, well-
between it to whether you're going to be a good person.
He
or
gives
bad
her a
person.
smoke and a butterfly knife and thinks he's now being a parent.
Yeah.
His ideas are
Yeah,
probably a bit
they're a bit
skewed,
off.
Yeah.
but he thinks he's doing the right thing.
Can we get just going back to the man of the 2000s briefly? Why the fuck did they make him look like Andy Dick?
They did. Exactly what it looked
When
like.
he spoke, I thought, is bloody Ernest Goes to Prison or something? Like, what were they thinking? The guy's a good actor. He had a decent look.
Hang on.
Hang on, whoa. Did you
Thomas
say...
brought that to set, mate. That's how he came.
Did you say he's
when
a
you're
good actor?
man,
Thomas Jane is a good actor. Thomas Jane is a good actor.
when you're when you're cresting the wave of the 2000s, you come with a full.
Hey, he wasn't there.
You
This is
have
97.
notes.
Good actor who regrets some of his career choices.
All of them. I haven't seen him act yet. I'm yet to see it. Tell me about the acting.
Give Thomas a bloody break.
What's he done that's anything resembling acting?
Face off.
But yeah, I looked at it, and for the first second I saw him, I was like,
Yeah.
I forgot Andy Dick was in this. And then I'm like, Thomas
I thought
Jane.
Thomas Jane was Andy Dick in this. He's Andy Dick's in a high security prison for his fucking comedy attempts, no doubt.
I have never ever been I've never been a fan of scenes where everybody points a gun at each other.
Oh,
Standoff.
why is no one pulling the trigger?
Fucking Mexican standoff is the worst thing in any action.
No, it's
film.
way better if it's a 7-way Mexican
You
stand.
do not do
So
it.
many
You,
people
you
do
do not do that. You
Why?
never do that.
No one knows who's on whose side.
My definition of the Mexican standoff now is when all the toilet cubicles are occupied and the first one to make a sound loses the standoff.
No, the Mexican standoff in the toilet is with the first one to leave. because you might get the blame.
The walk of shame.
Whatever went on.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You go quiet and you go, if I don't make a sound, no one will think I'm in here.
There's different types of standoff merchants. There's the quiet one shot guy, which is, or there's the fucking Uzi. You know, they sit there and they go.
Yeah, no shame.
We always end up at far jokes, don't we?
That would have been more entertaining.
Seriously,
than
I was
this,
at the camp the
standoff.
other day at work, and some blokes come in. He's dropped away, and you just heard this. And it was just like an absolute avalanche of crap. And then the immediate, like within a second, I've just gone. just had a yak. I had to breathe through my mouth and get out of there. Oh,
Evacuate.
Jesus.
I love this.
Yeah, I
shit.
didn't dig. Yeah, this
Mexican
the one in this
standoffs
one-
are not to happen in any action film ever again.
It makes no
They are
sense.
ridiculous.
You've been shooting at each other. If someone's in your sights, you fucking shoot them. What are you waiting for?
When the two guys walk in for Travolta, I'll call him Travolta because it's Archer Troy. You know, like, when they come in flanking Travolta, it's like these guys have been hanging around with you for like 3 scenes. Like, why the fuck do we want them there? We know that they're going to be there for a couple of minutes and then they're gone. Like, it was so stupid. Ah.
Speaking of stupid, in the hangar scene, when Archer is trying to get, and this is as themselves, right? I've got a couple of problems with this. Oh no, this is later on. I've got some problems, but that one, when Travolta goes in there and he's trying to get Castor Troy, at one point he pushes a dude out of the way that's about to get shot. Great, you saved the bloke's life. The next one, the bloke's got Castor Troy in his sights. He's about to pull the trigger, and he goes, "Get down!" And then he pushes him in the back, and the guy gets shot.
Yes.
It's classic hero ball. It's like Kobe Bryant for gunfights, and he just fucks his teammate.
The guy he had him in his sights, and he just comes and he goes, "I'm going to get this bloke, not you."
Yeah.
Palms him, and he gets shot. Dog effort.
Dog effort. Very big dog effort.
This one's petty, but
Tom?
did they do a transfusion of Nicolas Cage's hand hair as well?
They did. Remember they talked about the plugs for body hair?
They did actually. They reference it.
That's where things went a bit too far.
They cover all the bases, mate. Plugs for body hair, liposuction for the love handles, laser shears for the receding hairline.
My last big dislike is that just what you said, that boat chase, although plenty of pyrotechnics and stunt work, it seems really tacked on.
Yeah.
I felt
The movie's
when
over.
he gets stabbed in the leg, that's where he should get shot. That's the end of it. End of story. But we decided to slip down to the boat launch to have a massive 20-minute chase.
And that's originally where it was going to end. And the movie's too long, as we said before.
Come on, you would have missed Nicolas Cage cutting his face open so he can't have a... What is it?
No,
Travolta.
This will show him.
What is the character's name?
You got a
Just
knife,
actors.
throw it at the bloke.
It's like, yeah, mate, they just used a laser to cut your face off and fix that up. So I think their little knife scrape.
You'll never recover from these scars.
Yeah, wouldn't you just go straight down the guts?
I had a very specific one. Margaret Cho just gives one of the worst line deliveries I've ever seen in my life when she makes the line about the
stick removed from his
stick
arse.
removed from your ass, and then the ensuing forced laughter from the rest of the group, and it's immediately followed up by the line about the president. I'm like, that is one of the weirdest 30 seconds of a movie I've ever seen in my fucking life.
Did you have a surgical procedure, sir?
Oh, man.
So bad.
She's so
terrible.
much more comfortable with this version than the first one. Man, he plays a hard ass at the beginning of it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's so angry about everything.
Yes, he was fired up.
We've mentioned it a few times, but the science of the surgery. Okay, I got some problems.
Talk to me. Because if you're talking about body plugs,
No,
you're wrong.
I'm past
That
it.
sounds
They explained
legitimate.
that all.
Case closed on that one.
They explained that. So when they cut your face off with a laser, they do a little line around the edge, and then apparently your face isn't attached anywhere else
yeah.
with any other nerves,
It just slips off.
muscle fibers, nothing. It's just a mask that's attached only on the sides.
So yes, you cut round here. So this muscle here, then everything just slips
It
off.
just slides off.
Jesus.
Magic.
I mean,
I mean that totally makes sense. Can you explain why?
to me, you got to peel that thing off.
How is it? Yeah, grab the top and rip it down. But that's it. They give the bloke a haircut mid-surgery. He's got an open wound and they're doing some scissors work.
Yeah.
What? When I've had a haircut, that shit gets everywhere.
They had some gauze over his
Are you guys right for me to just trim the top there? Yeah, go ahead. We've got a couple of seconds. We've slid the face off. We're just
We'll
gonna
go
wait
from the
for
archer to the Caesar real quick. Just give it a bit of a trim.
Watch out for any stray hairs be his eye sockets or his nasal cavity or on his
I'm just picturing the surgeon asking, do you trim anywhere else?
Are you a manscaper? But so they do kind of cover that base though, where your faces are attached, because then he explains how this plastic mask that you sit over your skull changes your face to the shape of the other guy that you're supposed to look like. They obviously just reattach it at the edges and everything works. So your face is obviously not attached anywhere else.
How do your fucking lips and everything work?
His fucking lips are on when he's smoking a cigarette, but his lips are also on the other bloke.
Listen, we've gone too far.
Sitting there going, look, it's very difficult to talk with this.
We've gone too
If you
far.
go back just a tiny step, why did they keep Castor Troy alive after he's in a...
Yeah.
Like,
The ethics are shady.
Why the fuck wasn't he? I mean, at least
Why
he's
isn't he
in a
under
coma.
guard?
He's in a coma. He's
a
at
fucking
least put the
terrorist.
fucking handcuffs to the edge of the bed or something.
he's basically the only bloke there. The lights are off and everyone's gone home, and he's just there. Jeez, I hope he stays asleep
Yeah,
tonight.
exactly.
But
His
also-
whole face is an open wound. They
No,
cover
there's a bandage on it.
It's an open wound. But then they leave him there for, I'm presuming, a day at least.
I'm sure they put a bit of Dettol or Betadine or something on there before that.
They just chuck that on him.
Travolta's face is like just sitting in a pool of water. Well, urine, it's yellow, isn't it? I don't know what it is.
No, this is a secret undercover operation. You would think the FBI would have that place locked down tight. You know, plenty of security,
Yeah.
people everywhere.
What happens if he sleepwalks? Just gets up and
Nobody.
goes for a stroll.
No, I mean, I think the indication was, no one else knows about this. But They should. Like, this is an important fucking thing.
Yeah.
We will lock this down, need to know basis. Only a certain number of agents will know.
I would have
Surely
thought when he finds
communicating-
Travolta's face in a bucket of water too, he'd be like, oh fuck, it's gone all pruny.
If you've got Time Man of the Year in your prison, you want to know about it.
But he hasn't won
Yeah,
Man of the Year.
yeah,
yet. Carter Troy technically wins Time Man of the Year, doesn't he?
They had
Better
Man
than
of the Year and Man of the 2000s in the same prison.
That's a feather in your cap.
That is. All right, any other dislikes here? Are you
Yeah,
still going?
I've got quite a few.
Are you still talking about the surgery?
No. Well, no. Okay, so Chekhov's voice box, right? When they're giving in the voice tuning and they say, a sneeze, anything could dislodge this. And you're like, oh, something's going to happen to this later.
right?
Nothing happens. He
Yeah.
never loses it. Like, his voice never changes. It never puts him in danger. Nothing.
So
I
do you
thought
think?
guaranteed he's going to get punched in the throat or something.
Yeah, and his voice would change to Archer's. It doesn't. Nothing.
Do you think that?
It's got to be a
Again,
cutscene.
someone said, well, you know, what about an explosion? No. So a sneeze will knock it loose, but an explosion right near me? Nah, that'll be fine.
You can get shot at
Just
each
don't
time and
open
get
your
your
mouth.
face carved off. You'll be
Wouldn't you
fine.
just punch yourself in the throat while you're in the prison just so you can say, listen, bang?
I'm Sean Archer.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything. But they've had this
That could have
explicit
been-
scene where he says all of these things will cause dramas with your voice modulator. Never comes back again. Dumb.
Yeah, why mention it?
His escape plan, okay, getting out of the jail.
That was so bad.
The plan is not a plan. Let's be honest. He doesn't know Dubov's up there for
He doesn't
one
know
thing.
shit.
He gets up there, he's just fucking winging it. He's like, "Can I get a light?" And then he starts talking to bloke that's been spewing all over himself, and he's in a fucking brain dead coma. He gives him a fucking motivational speech, and the bloke bounces out of it and helps him escape.
Yeah.
Is that your plan?
It's a nice pep talk.
Bloody hell.
That's some pep talk.
I forgot that he'd had his brains fried.
The guy's just frothing at the mouth. He's got chunder all over him, and he talks him out of it by saying, "I
Yeah,
didn't
but
bone
that's-
your sister and your wife."
That's Sunday morning after a night out in Sydney.
Okay. Biggest
Actually,
problem.
sex sandwich. Bang.
Biggest problem with that scene. He jumps off the oil rig.
Where
Does
did
he
go?
Aquaman to shore? Or do they think it's like there's no explanation.
Oh,
The helicopter's like, he's in the water.
I had a big problem.
Stop
with
looking.
that too, like,
Yeah, look, he's gone. That's that.
He has to come up. They get,
Yeah,
there he is.
come up. Yeah, bang, there he is.
Nah. Let's call off the search.
The head of the FBI has his funeral in a 30-seat chapel on the beach, completely unguarded. No issues with that. Totally standard. That's fine. Okay, cool.
And the criminal who they've just been chasing attends it.
Yeah, just rocks up. That's what I mean. It's unguarded. It's the FBI, the head of the FBI. Let alone how he gives him a hard hit. He goes, "Oh, this bloke's obviously got a bit of heart."
Punches him in the throat and in the back of the neck.
He karate chops the back of the neck and then elbow drops him on the chest and says, "Lazarus," like, and he's ballsy enough to say, "I'm Castor Troy," and then do it. Like, you hope he dies. Anyway, that's fine.
God.
Move along. The stunt doubles.
Oh, yeah, there's a
Do
couple
not
of-
match.
There's a couple of terrible stunt doubles.
Some of the blokes have got like curly hair and they're like, "Where Nicolas Cage?" No,
Nah, there's a couple of
Yeah, but they
shockers.
certainly weren't able to use the technology for the stunt doubles.
no,
So-
they didn't. They
Yeah,
didn't give them the
because-
laser shears. That's for sure.
A couple of times you just see him clear as day. Coming
It's not
flying
close.
at you.
It's not close.
Oh.
And my last one, sorry, I did have an end to this list.
Yeah.
The last one is, I don't think you just get to bring home a random kid to be your foster son because you decide,
Yeah,
I
that's
met this
someone
kid
like that.
once, he's coming to live with us now.
Yeah, you're not going to someone, but this is closure for me. This
Yeah.
is like, no, there's a
And we're going to
process
call him
here.
Michael, even though his name's Adam.
There's a process here, mate.
Yeah, there's a
No.
process. It's long and complex.
And then he immediately gets, what do you call it, the meat waterfall from the sister.
The meat waterfall,
And he's
yeah.
sitting there going, this family's fucking weird.
Or he's
Sister's
going,
like, come to my room.
and he's like, yes. I
yeah,
don't know.
and yeah, he's just spent half an hour in the car with John Travolta.
That's so
And
funny.
his shenanigans, overacting in the light.
That whole scene is so good. His wife can't give him a lift from the airport or from the
No one tells her he's coming home.
yeah, he just rocks up and it's like, Dad, sorry I shot you. And then and then he brings a kid from around the corner.
Here's a puppy
this is
I
our
found.
new child.
And the wife gives him a knowing
You've been
after the
replaced.
kid walks past, she just looks at him and nods. It's
Yeah,
like,
she goes, okay.
there's going to be a couple of words said back and forth.
Yeah, like, what the fuck's going on here?
Actually,
Why have
speaking
we
of
got
the
another
wife,
child?
I had one more dislike. I skimmed over it earlier because it's pretty tasteless, but when they do the slow motion shot on Joan Allen's ass when she's walking to the car and he acts like he's all attracted, does he like pancakes or what? There's nothing there.
I'm not saying it. The saggy slacks? No, hard pass. I'm out.
Look, it was the 90s, mate.
How funny is
hammer
him
pants.
reading?
Less is more. Everyone was on crack.
He was wearing
She's
hammer
got her
pants.
diary in the
Hammer
living room.
pants.
She's got her diary in the living room.
Yeah.
We haven't had sex in 2 months.
The daughter finds it. Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm out. I got nothing else.
Is that all?
Yes.
Is that everything?
I think we're had enough. That's enough, isn't it?
Yeah, that is Face Off. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, and Podomatic. If you want to send us an email, send it to thrillme@iinet.net.au. Like us on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia, at Podomatic at thrillme.podomatic.com, and on Instagram at thrillmepodcastau. Our next episode is the horror film Hereditary from 2018.
A good movie.
Bit of a gear shift.
Definite gear shift from this one. But until then, take it easy and we'll catch up with everyone later. Cheers. Find the podcast at Podomatic or on iTunes. Don't forget to rate and review. Like us on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia or contact us at thrillme, all one word, all lowercase, at iinet.net.au.